Hello, my name is Shane Brody. I've been traveling around the country talking to trans, non-binary, intersex, gender non-conforming people, sometimes parents, sometimes allies. I'm a long-term transgender man. I started transitioning in the 90s from Alaska, and I'm currently in Texas, and it is really hot here, and I've been complaining and complaining about it. I'm not used to it. So neither is my dog. And I'm here with a couple guests, and they're going to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Zeth Graham. I'm a transgender man. I'm from Chicago, but I moved here 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago.
Okay. So you're pretty new here too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're comparable cities in terms of size, right? Chicago's really big. Houston's definitely big.
Yeah. Houston's a little bit more spread out, I think.
Is it?
But
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how about you?
First of all, I like Chicago's flag. Their flag is really pretty to me.
I didn't know Chicago had its own flag.
Yeah, it's
Really?
not usual that cities have their own flag.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The colors are pretty and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show it to you later. But I'm a trans man too. My pronouns are he, him, and his. And I am from Houston. I'm a native Houstonian. I am used to the weather. I am used to the humidity. In fact, I don't, going to cold places like Chicago. I was in Chicago one time and the wind hit my face and it felt weird. Like,
Sometimes it's so cold and so windy. It's like painful.
Yeah.
You ever get that? Like here, it's just like
I have really bad circulation,
Oh.
so that's like part of the reason I moved to Houston.
Oh,
is
yeah.
to escape the cold.
Oh yeah. Do you have
specifically.
like Raynaud's or something?
Yeah, I have Raynaud's.
Oh yeah, that's is that painful?
It's very painful.
Yes, yeah. Even me, I have pretty good circulation. In fact, I have such good circulation that it was hard for me to do chocolate work when I was a baker because I would just melt it. But even in Alaska, oh yeah, your fingers just get so painful. And sometimes the beginning of frostbite would happen, like actual nerve damage. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
I did have nerve damage when I lived in Chicago.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Thankfully, it healed, so.
Yeah, it takes a while, but it does eventually heal. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Luckily for us too, right? If you've had surgery, I've had surgery. Luckily, things start to connect again after a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah, I wasn't totally sure that was going to happen because after I had my top surgery.
When
people
was
told
that,
me,
by the way?
It was last August. Yeah.
I remember that because you were asking for like advice on how to care for yourself after. That was so cute when you reached out to me. It was like
Nice.
something that some knowledge I could impart onto another.
Well,
appreciate
and that often happens, right?
Yeah.
Our best resources are other trans people, oftentimes, even more so than doctors and etc. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Totally.
true.
Yeah.
Definitely true.
Yeah, it's us to have our own backs, really, and that's not even guaranteed, because we got, people who, like you say, trans people who are anti-trans.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a weird phenomenon.
Yeah.
I just recently kind of discovered that because, I was at Harvard Divinity School, and then I was up in my cabin for a couple years, and I came down here and kind of was on the internet more because I didn't have internet at my cabin, and found that there's this whole thing of some trans people being anti-trans. I didn't know about that. It's so weird. So weird.
Yeah, and you do have, the misogyny still exists, and the gender roles still exist,
Yeah.
It's very interesting because lately I've had, a lot of the trans women that I have met, there's this sort of, the way that they talk about other trans women or trans feminine people, it's like, for example, I work with, there's a trans woman who I work with, and she was saying well, I mean, trans guys, things that trans guys put together, like programs or meetups or discussion groups, things that they put together, they last longer, whereas women are too catty. Trans women are too catty, and they don't don't agree, and it's that's why things don't last as long, or, so I've heard two things. I've heard that trans women, are they stay close knit with each other for safety, or they're in competition with one another.
Okay.
Like that's what that it's always either of
Yeah.
the two
Have you ever heard something similar with trans men?
that we. Well, I think we have a reputation of being a lot more chill and being a lot more.
You think so? Because I always heard that testosterone made us raging maniacs or something.
Oh,
Not with not with one another. Not with
Here's
other trans
three
guys.
maniacs, right?
Well, you do have trans guys. Like for example, if you have somebody like, you know, like from the perspective of masculinity and trying to be the most masculine. Like some people will be like I noticed some trans guys who are a little bit taller than me will be like they'll highlight the fact that they're taller than me.
Okay.
Or like because it's like a point for them.
Okay.
So I think that's
Well,
I see that a lot.
So like one-ups or something.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
But you see that with cis men too.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and cisgender women talk about other cis women. Like about she's jealous or we're competing.
Seems like kind of a feature of humanity or something.
Yeah. So
An unfortunate feature, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I understand it's natural to compare ourselves to other people, but it's also not always like a healthy thing.
Yeah, especially when kind of like we do it internally as well. Like, like if I were to look around and I'd be like, all these younger men got to transition earlier than I did. So, I feel so bitter or something like that.
Yeah.
No, that's such a... That hurts your heart if you do that sort of thing.
Yeah, I used to think that way.
Yeah.
And because I didn't come out till I was 28.
Okay. An old man.
Well, I mean, not really.
Yeah. But it is older. It is. Yeah. Because
older than
now...
average.
Because now some people are transitioning like when they're 18 or, socially when they're younger too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When did you start?
I started transitioning medically when I was, I think like 19 or 20. So it was like
Okay.
2017 is when I started going on medical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I tried to come out as early as 12.
Okay.
So I had an idea of, but then I got shot down. So,
Okay.
Twice.
So had you heard about it before, like in media or something? Because you're significantly younger.
Yeah. I do try to remember, rack my brain about the first trans person or the first time I realized that trans was a thing. I wish I remembered. I don't think it was Jazz Jennings. I think she was one of the first. Like I Am Jazz from Jazz. But,
Okay.
Yeah. Or like him from Powerpuff Girls. Like gender, like...
Different generation. Sorry.
Yeah.
Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
That
Really?
was it. Yeah.
You remembered that too? Okay.
Yeah, Powerpuff. Yeah, I love him. Like it's just like so. It's like I don't even think him is trans, but him is like, him as a villain on Powerpuff Girls, and like he was always. I don't even know if that's the right pronouns.
Like gender envy.
Yeah.
Are you guys talking about a cartoon?
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
cartoon.
Powerpuff Girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to show you a picture of our video.
Sure.
Yeah, but
Well, I'm sure other people know.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm ignorant. I'm ignorant of a lot.
yeah.
Like I was just saying, I watched TV earlier here while we were waiting, and it had been a year since I've seen TV, so
Yeah.
I'm chronically behind.
But,
It's fine. It's fine. Takes all types, right?
yeah. Yeah, but I think what helped me was the YouTube because that's when the Skylar K11 person, or like the trans guy, like trans masculine YouTubers. That's
So what were they producing that you felt connected with?
I think because it showed me that it was possible. Because for one thing, I grew up feeling like testosterone wasn't powerful enough to make one pass.
Yeah, I had no idea that going on testosterone could mean that I would pass as a man. Like, I didn't know it would change that
Yeah.
much about my
okay.
body or anything.
Right.
So,
I mean, it changes like the bone structure in the face. And, yeah, totally.
So as vain or like as as vain as it sounds or as what's superficial as it sounds, I was looking for validation that I would have a good chance that I would pass one day if I went on it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I wanted to be for sure like, oh, this person got facial hair, a beard, like a deep voice.
So I'm assuming that eventually, before you started socially or physically transitioning, that you actually saw trans men at some point.
Mm-hmm.
What was
knew
that?
one.
What was that like?
Um,
Like, was that on TV? Was that in person?
For me, it was YouTube.
Okay,
They weren't
YouTube.
on TV yet.
Okay.
No.
I knew one person
Mm-hmm.
in college that when I met them, they were not out yet, but
Mm-hmm.
later they came out, and then I saw their transition on Facebook, but
Yes.
I didn't see them in person after they transitioned.
Okay.
So I didn't really know, like really that anything had changed with
Okay.
them, or, I just knew they went by a different name.
Mm-hmm.
Like he goes by a different name now. He goes by he/they pronouns, and yeah.
So you didn't see them long enough to see any changes, because they
Right.
can be slow. Some people
Mm-hmm.
change some things rather rapidly, but some people go slower. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like how our genes express themselves. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes
'cause I think
sometimes it has to do with age as well.
Oh
and,
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I knew this one trans guy, and he had hair like yours, very very dark, and kind of coiffed up like that, and he was sad because immediately he started going bald. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wow.
You've hit something
Yeah.
there because I used to have the world's thickest hair.
Okay.
Okay, I'm POC. My hairline would show it.
Oh, okay.
I got a really thick hair,
Yeah.
but lately, since I'm on like year 6, I don't remember. Yeah, I'm on, I've got some years on me with T, and all of a sudden, I can see my
Oh,
scalp.
yes. Yeah.
All of a sudden,
Yeah.
I see hair, in the shower, it's falling out.
Oh wow! Really?
Only thing that I have is my hair. I cannot lose it.
Oh.
So like it's that's actually a really big concern of mine. So I went off an asteroid, hoping.
Is that
it
like a
works.
topical?
It's a pill that
Okay.
It's like
Okay, so it's a pill.
basically it. I believe what it does is it helps stimulate hair growth here and only here, right? So it doesn't. Like, cause I don't know. Like, there's some hair parts of the body that have hair on it. It doesn't target that. It targets
Okay.
specifically the one.
Just the hair one.
Yeah,
Just the head
on the
ones.
head. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
However, for trans guys, it can increase the likelihood that you'll start menstruating again, and I did for a little
Oh
bit.
wow!
So that was like
yikes.
kind of
I
What a
don't think I could
nightmare.
deal with that.
yeah. It was interesting, but yeah, it's worth it. I don't care. I just want. I don't want to. I don't think I could pull off the bald look. I don't think I
see.
could pull off the Mr. Clean look.
Well, you don't have to go all the way. You
I
know.
but
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. The Trump comb over and
I see.
try to keep what
Well,
I have
that's
left.
good.
So
That's good. Yeah, comb overs are weird. It's,
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like just have pride in yourself.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
the that weird cover up is a little strange.
Yeah, I'd rather just go all the way, Mr. Clean,
Yeah.
instead of doing that, because that
Yeah.
just shows that you're not ready to let go of it. And you're
Yes.
trying to hang on with everything.
I think baldness is manly, and maybe that's my bias.
Yeah.
I'm not the most manly man,
Yeah.
whatever, but I just when I see bald guys out there, I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
It does show like a lot of security in oneself.
yeah, exactly.
So, plus, you got that nice gnarly beard.
Oh yeah, that's
So-
true.
I know.
It's a
I'm
little,
so envious.
it's a little short at the moment, but yeah,
A little short.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
gets a
I
lot
can-
of perspective because
Yeah.
I can grow it. I can grow it pretty
Yeah.
big, and actually, I'm actually mourning it right now because it's turning so light and it's turning white. So I just like with your hair,
Yeah.
right? I'm having a change with mine. So it used to be like more like a bright copper, like a boom,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and now it's getting more blondie and
see.
white.
Yeah, but you can pull it off, so.
It's
Yeah.
fine. I'll be a little tiny Santa Claus.
Oh, there is a Santa Claus that's a trans
That's
guy.
right.
Did you see? Yeah.
Yeah, I met him actually.
You met him?
Yeah, we had an interview, but unfortunately it didn't work out because we were in a cafe and the people in the cafe kept turning the music up.
Oh wow.
They did not like us. So at some point I'm going to have to, and it was snowing at the time, so I had to get out of there.
Do you think it was intentional with the music?
Yes, they were
Really?
mean to us. Yeah, they told us to get out at some point.
What the heck?
Yeah, they were really rude. Yeah,
How
I
you gonna
threw
treat
my
Santa Claus
I threw
like
my
that?
coffee at their window at some point as I was leaving.
Where?
I was like,
Oh,
"You're gonna
wow.
kick me out? Okay, there you go." And it was snowing, so it probably froze on there.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So I was really sad to miss that interview because that guy is an intense activist. He has a really deep history of doing a lot of activism
Yeah.
for this community, and so. But eventually, we're gonna do a remote interview. So,
Yeah, that's a shame, and
yeah,
yeah,
he's a sweetheart.
I'm passionate to see that interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we took a little break as we often do, just because trying to see where we're gonna go, and just take a moment. So I was wondering about this transmasculine group that you guys are in. Can you talk about it a little bit, like why you're involved and maybe what you do, that sort of thing? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So the group has actually meant a lot to me because I didn't have friends here when I moved here 2 years ago.
Because you just moved here, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's where I found most of my friends.
Okay.
Was through that group.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mostly hang out with trans people?
Yes.
Okay.
Almost every single one of my friends here is trans.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Great. And how about you?
First of all, I wouldn't have it any other way. Like a lot of people, all my friends, and like most of them are trans, right?
Okay.
Not even LGBTQIA plus, but trans. Right?
Okay, great.
So I do like it like that. But it didn't start off that way. But for the group, I seldom go to meetings. I think I had friends first, and we're all trans masculine, so I would just see the same people there. I would meet some people along the way, like Zeph, but I mean.
I don't always go to the meetings.
Yeah.
I get social anxiety around like big groups of people.
Yeah.
Oh, is it a big meeting too?
Sometimes.
Like 20 people?
It can be that many.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I've never, well, actually, no, that's true. I've been to one meeting like that, and it was FTM International in San Francisco, and it was like over 20 years ago.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, and it was just a big circle and a bunch of chairs, and actually it wasn't very intimate at all, and it was just, so a lot of people were just kind of speechifying into space. It wasn't.
So more like a support group kind of style, or what?
It was like a support group, but nobody was really connecting because it was just so big. There were so many people.
How many people?
I don't know. Maybe 30.
Oh,
it was
okay.
like a big circle. Yeah. So we just all took turns telling our story for half a second, and it was, I don't know. It was odd. I actually appreciate smaller ones. Yeah, because you can actually talk about like stressful things.
Yeah, I like meeting with people one-on-one.
Yeah.
Or just in a small group most of the time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing that you get so many though. Yeah, I guess. Well, this is a big city.
Yeah.
Well, there's another group like trans overarching, like the whole umbrella of trans, and that group can be up to 45 people.
Oh, really?
All in one big circle in one room.
Oh my! Have you been to that? I guess. Yeah. What is that like?
It can be cool, but then when you have that many people, no matter who they are in one room, somebody's gonna be a rule breaker. Somebody will have the dissenting opinion and rile other people up. It's the same things like that have happened.
Okay.
In those
I haven't
groups.
seen that too much.
Yeah. Well, I guess because if you have small groups, that's less likely to happen.
Yeah.
But in a big group, people will act out.
Oh.
And people will have opinions that offend other people.
Oh yeah.
And
I really haven't seen that in
some ugly
groups.
things have happened. Yeah.
Like what kind of stuff?
For example, one time there was a group, a meeting where there was a lot of people like up.
We're spilling the tea here.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I didn't even mean to. I swear I didn't mean to come with tea, but now I'm over. Now I'm over here gonna look shady. But basically, for example, one time in this big group of like 50 people, it was majority white people and there was like maybe a handful of people of color, right? And one time somebody was talking about, like a person of color was talking about an experience that they were having, and in that group there was a rule where you can get feedback if you want to, like somebody can respond to what you're saying, but you have, like, the person speaking has to accept you, like has to accept.
Oh, like acknowledge.
Acknowledge it. And
okay.
Yeah. And so a white person was trying to chime in, and then the person of color was like, actually, I only want people of color to respond to me. I don't want. And then some white people were like rolling their eyes, and then the one who was trying to chime in was like, okay then, And another, what was another time? So another one. Okay, this one is about the trans identity itself. Okay. I remember one time, a trans woman was talking about that her child has come out as trans to her, but while she was talking about the child, she was misgendering them.
Oh no!
Right?
And
that was something. Yeah, I tried to help out with.
Well, that probably just comes from a place of ignorance,
Yeah.
not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when when I was trying to find a group to join, I did go to a few meetings for parents of trans youth, and
Why did you try that?
I wanted to help. I just wanted to help out.
Okay.
And that was
It was
right.
kind of open.
That was like right after. Well, that was right after basically that letter, which resulted in so many trans youth that were unable to access treatment.
Oh, well, tell me about this.
So.
Because I've been traveling around, and there's so much going on. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. So it actually affected a lot of people, and a lot of trans youth in Texas were affected by it. Basically, like, people were coming in to this meeting, the parents were coming in saying, oh, my child was supposed to start hormone treatment, or they were supposed to have an appointment with this doctor next week to start, and now it's delayed. Or they started treatment, and now they're going to have to go off of it. And we don't know how long it's going to be before they can start again. And I mean, yeah, they're talking about kids, but some of them are 16, 17.
Right.
And they're supposed to be going through puberty, and that's something that...
And this happened, what, like a year ago?
Yeah, it was a year ago.
Yeah, that's when I first came down here to Texas from Alaska. And I remember I was trying to recruit for this project, and nobody wanted to talk to me. And there seemed to be like a chill that was going on, Nobody was hardly talking about anything. So I think that's what happens kind of here in Texas, is that people just kind of shut down a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, but I understand at that point because Child Protective Services wasn't put in charge of investigating families that provided their children with gender-affirming care.
Right.
So.
And I think what it would be whatever Texas Department of Children and Protective Services would come in and maybe take a child away, possibly. I mean, that was the threat.
Yeah, that
right?
was the threat.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. So I understand why people wouldn't want to talk after that.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But even like people like you who don't have kids, and I mean, everybody was just like clammed up. I mean, that's what happens, right? Even if these laws are deemed non-constitutional, unconstitutional, whatever, however you say that. I'm not a lawyer. It's still the threat, right? It's still the state coming in and going, I'm going to get you, in whatever way I can. So, yeah, even if a court strikes it down, yeah.
I don't know if you remember, like, when Ken Paxton, right? You remember when Ken Paxton asked...
Who is he?
Oh, okay, so the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton recently, I think it was around December, I believe, January, I don't remember. But
this December?
Yeah, this recently. And he had asked for a list of every trans person who had changed their name and gender marker legally.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so they're making lists of trans people.
He wanted the list. I don't think that it was given to him because there's no constitutional reason why he would. It's a Schindler's List. That's what it reminded me of.
Right,
okay,
right.
What in the Schindler's List was that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's not normal to have. For someone to want that.
Yeah.
And it's not normal
for what reason?
I know exactly. So.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah,
it is.
I know a lot of people actually, just from doing recruiting for this project and actually speaking to people, they're actually considering moving to different places. And I actually talked to a woman from Kentucky who moved to Massachusetts. And there was several reasons why she did that, better quality education for kids and that sort of thing, but also from this oppression that's going on. I keep hearing that. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes us really feel unwelcome, I would say.
Yeah.
Just, it feels like the state of Texas doesn't want us here.
Yeah, right.
At all.
Do you
or
notice...
doesn't want us to exist.
So that's the big, kind of top... Yeah, exist, totally. When you don't have health care, it's, how can you get by in your life? And they're going to want to take other things, too, like outlaw being able to do certain jobs, like they did in the 90s. They did that with gay teachers.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that.
Oh yeah, there were different states that did. Colorado and Oregon, I believe, were trying to do that. Yeah.
That's the funny thing about coming out as trans and then becoming part of the community at that point, like when I was 28. Because before that, I was pretty much a straight white, and people thought I was a woman. So
right.
that yeah. I'm into men, and
So now people think of you as they see you around with your partner probably as gay, right?
Yeah, and it was a really big adjustment for him too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
because he's not gay, he's bi.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't want to talk to about somebody when they're not really in the room.
True.
But you want to talk about that a little bit more, maybe by, preserving his privacy a little bit.
Oh yeah,
but,
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say like he's been my biggest supporter since I came out, so I do really appreciate having him.
That's wonderful.
Around, and
it's lovely to hear that too, because you often hear of people breaking up, or one partner not growing with their partner, or it's just too much, or it's too much for their own identity. Like somebody being maybe a lesbian, and then their partner transitions to man, to being a man. What do they call themselves now?
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's a thing. How about you? You were mentioning something about dating or something earlier.
Well, I was just saying that it's always nice to feel wanted, because I come from a place of not feeling wanted.
Right.
No matter.
Right. And you're so cute too. I mean.
Oh, thank you. See, that means a lot.
I mean, look at you. I mean.
Well, oh my God. Thank you, but yeah, no, it's. No, I'm not with anybody right now. The people that I like don't ever like me back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
I have something similar actually. Yeah, I don't know why that is. So are you gay or straight or pan or bi or
I
whatever?
like the word queer because it's all encompassing.
I love queer too. Yeah, yeah.
And now it's become like a pathway to like. I know queer was originally a word meant for like sexualities, but now it's a gender thing too.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So I like that word.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was younger, I called myself genderqueer, for instance, and I still kind of feel like that. I think it's fun.
I like that word. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I'm not quite like a non-binary person. That's kind of a different generation, but genderqueer definitely. Yeah.
But as for who I am attracted to, I romantically and sexually. I mean, I like everybody really.
So. Okay. Well, great.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you so your partner, so you're pretty set on that. But me as well. Like I find it really hard to date as a trans person. You're very lucky.
Yeah, I would say I don't know what that's like. I mean, I'm married, so we've been together since 2012. So.
Okay, long time. Great.
Yeah. Nice.
Great. Wow, 10 years.
Yeah, that's
cool.
Yeah.
So, do you use like apps or something? What do you do?
I chicken out every time. So I have OkCupid downloaded, but I always chicken out and I never make a profile.
Oh yeah, they're kind of weird too. Like they make you fill out like all these questions and stuff. I don't know if I want somebody who's exactly like me though.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how they match you,
yeah,
right?
that's how they match you. It's like no.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're getting specific now. They're like, it says I'm pro-choice. I'm this. Like it's right there on the top too. Like because a lot of people will care about that. Like,
okay, so that's the first diversion away. Like
I guess so. Because on the very top, like for OkCupid, I know when my friend has one, and on the very top of each person's profile, right under their picture and the name, it says I'm pro-choice.
Okay.
Or I'm pro-life. That's very interesting. But
yeah, I've never seen that. That's
yeah.
I guess that's well, it is very important, but it's interesting that that's on a dating profile.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be just like stuff like kink or
yeah.
What if you're bi or straight?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Whatever, those kind of things.
Yeah.
That, but yeah, that's interesting. Have you ever been on the more gay specific ones like Grindr?
I chickened out of that one too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
it's very manic. It's like you put your picture up there and it's like
yeah, exactly. So
yeah, I wouldn't know. I never had to use apps.
It's very.
I can't imagine using apps to try to date people.
Oh
yeah,
it's awful. It's awful because you don't get to see them. You don't get to see how they interact. You don't see anything. It's just a photo.
And then I know that people like my friend recently. He's also a trans guy. He went on apps because of the dating pool so small for trans people. Oh. And so he actually started paying for it too because he wanted to find like he wanted the best outcome,
like premium service.
And he finally got a date in real life, like someone to match with and someone to go on a date with in real life to meet, and that person ghosted him and never responded to him again. So that could still happen.
That's rough.
So
that's just dating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Did you find it was kind of strange going from being kind of, I don't know how you identified, but like as a wife to being more like a husband?
It's funny because
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know how to put this.
I came out a year after we got married.
Okay.
So, or no, not a year. Sorry, a month.
Oh,
it was very, very.
a month.
It was very
Surprise,
short
honey.
time. Yeah, and I thought that I came out to my husband before we got married.
Oh.
But it was a situation where he didn't realize we were having an important conversation.
Oh, I see.
And kind of didn't hear or was walking away when I told him. So.
And you're a little bit quiet and shy.
Me thinking I came out to him and okay, maybe it's no big deal to him because he didn't respond. But it turns out he didn't even know.
That's hilarious.
And the whole time I'm getting married in a white dress.
Yes.
As the bride.
Oh, like a traditional.
Yeah.
Oh, with a train and
Yeah.
everything. Wow.
And in like 90 degrees, which, anyway. Try not to think about that. But
like outside in a
it was outside,
garden
yeah.
or something.
It was outside.
Yeah.
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 I mean, it was a beautiful wedding, but
Yeah.
I knew the whole time that I wasn't going to be anyone's wife. So it was this weird, like, I'm planning on coming out. I'm planning on going on testosterone and transitioning. And
Wow.
nobody here knows that.
Wow.
And it was very stressful for me.
So when you say you came out, did you just come out to your partner, or did you also come out to your family right after that? Or
Yeah.
And you just had a wedding with a long dress.
Yeah, it was a very and then my parents. Well, everyone thought that
I think
was
it's
like
so cute. By the way,
everyone thought I was trying to like shock people, and
Oh,
that's
okay.
why I did that. But I'm like, I wasn't trying to shock anyone.
No.
I just didn't think that my parents were gonna pay for the wedding if I came out before the wedding.
Right.
And we were
Right.
planning it for so long
Right.
at that point, and it was during COVID, and I didn't know. Like, I didn't want to postpone it. I just wanted to get it over with.
That's almost like that's a terrible choice in a way, like it's almost like, it sounds like from my perspective that you kind of had to do that.
Yeah. It kind of felt like I didn't have a choice because I knew they weren't going to be supportive when I did come out.
Right.
So.
And so how did they react?
Not well.
No? Okay.
They're better now. But at first, the only thing that happened, I changed my name and I changed my pronouns on Facebook. And I didn't tell them
Without
anything.
telling
without
them?
talking to them. They showed up, like, where I was staying with a friend the next day and basically told me that I should get in the car and that we're going to the hospital and that they're going to take me to the psych ward.
Oh.
And they want me to talk to a psychiatrist. And I said, no, I'm not getting in that car with you. So.
Wow. It sounds... Oh, wow. So they thought that you were, like, having some sort of breakdown.
Yeah, they thought it was like a psychotic episode or something. They really had no idea.
Are they just, like, not savvy with the world? Or...
I guess.
Because there's a lot of talk about trans people and gay people and out in the world.
Yeah. No, they knew trans people existed. They just didn't understand. And they weren't arguing that I wasn't trans. They were just saying that they didn't think I should transition and that I should take more time to like consider that because it was such a new concept.
So let's
to
put
them.
you in a mental hospital so you can have time to think.
They wanted to lock me up, I think, and say, "Oh, okay, well at least now there'll be a week before."
Goodness gracious!
At least a week or two before he can go on hormones or something, right? Because if that was in my plans, and it was.
Wow, that's
they wanted to stop me.
That's really abuse of the system.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
So thanks for sharing. I didn't know this about him.
Yeah, that's
Like, 'cause,
intense.
I kind of came to his house. We haven't even had a full conversation before, and I'm already in the house. So I thank you for sharing. And I relate a lot to you, and I love to talk about it more, but in the very end, you said something that really struck with me. Okay, so like something that cis people do, they
Yeah.
get wrong time again, is that like they do what Seth's parents did to him, and they're like, you need to think about this. This is such a rash decision. Like, it's new to you. It's not new to us. This has been on our minds. It's been on my mind since I was 12 years old.
Right.
Okay, so I've had time.
Right.
I've spent time so many nights in my room,
Yeah.
thinking about this, thinking
Yeah.
how things would be so much better.
Yeah.
And
And did you talk about any of this stuff when you were younger? Like any sort of I don't know, confusion is a loaded word, but what you were feeling about, what you were feeling.
I tried because I grew up in an environment where communication was encouraged.
Okay.
And I didn't feel.
But you didn't.
I tried, but then they got scared when I said I was trans.
Okay.
The
So
first
that
person.
means no more talking about that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I got because my sister was saying, she was ignorant about this topic, which I thought she was a safe person to talk to because she was like a feminist, like she was in the vagina monologues.
Oh, really? Okay.
She was like a feminist, and I was like, okay, she's gonna understand me, But when I came out as trans, when I told her I thought I was trans, she was like, I don't think so. You're not even very manly. You don't even like sports. Or,
right.
she's like, I know it. I've seen a trans guy. It just looks like a woman with a beard.
And
She got scared.
just looking between the three of us, we can see that there's such a variety of expressions of gender here.
True.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if we look out in the world, we can also see that. So that's just such a crude metric.
It
You're
is.
not manly enough.
Yeah, she's like, you don't even watch football, or you don't even do football, I was like,
Yeah.
it's so vapid, but
Yeah, and that's so sexist too. Like,
yeah, definitely,
I mean, there's plenty of men that don't play football.
exactly, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I thought I couldn't be a trans man because, first of all, I like men.
Yeah.
And second of all, like, I was feminine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like jewelry. I have
Right.
my ear, like piercings,
Yeah.
and I have my nose pierced. I have my belly button pierced.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like jewelry. I like
Right.
expressing myself in clothing, and like, I also wore makeup. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and I had long hair.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But then there's, a lot of men out in the world who are somewhat feminine as well. They use the word effeminate, but that's meant as a put down, right? But, they're somewhat feminine, and some of them are even straight too. They aren't even gay.
True.
And they get crap, because
Yeah.
I think you're gay. No,
yeah,
not necessarily, Yeah.
Yeah.
I think gender is a thing that we kind of all struggle with. I mean, trans people definitely in a different way, but I think everybody struggles with it a little bit. Meeting the
True.
expectations and all that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I went from being a very gender conforming
Mm-hmm.
woman, basically,
Right.
to being a gender non-conforming gay man.
Right.
Like, immediately,
Right.
and I was
Right.
like, okay, I don't know if I can handle this.
Yeah.
yeah,
The way the world sees me is going to be entirely
That's
Yeah.
right.
different.
Yeah. I went from being a stout woman who people would look at and be like, oh, you can handle yourself, to being like more like a weakling or like a puny man, or you know what I mean?
That's hard,
yeah, it was really strange. Real strange.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For Zev. Okay, so, given this big change, right, and how people perceive you, what is the difference between how they treated you when you were female appearing versus now?
That's a good question.
I guess it's interesting because I think some people don't know how to treat me. So I've noticed, like, some people, I mean, everyone treats me as a man because I pass really well.
Yeah.
But because I'm gay, for example, and I'm pretty open about that, even at work, I know people treat me differently than they do. And being I'm only, 5'2", and I'm not, like, a huge guy.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I see myself as, like, a really big muscular man, and I mean, I'm strong, but I'm not a really big muscular man.
Yeah.
So it's more like there's a little bit of a disconnect between how I see myself and how they see me sometimes. Even with
Are
that.
you thinking about changing your body further? to become more muscular or something like that?
That's interesting. Well, not really, because I mean, I'm already on hormones. I don't want to
Sure.
I don't want to mess that up or
Yeah.
have any complications. But
No, I don't mean like taking more testosterone. I mean like working out and
working
that sort
out.
of transferring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to get back to the gym more. I think that that might help, but
Yeah, sometimes people call that when cisgendered men do it a male to male transition. Yeah,
funny. I never
that's
heard
what
of
they
that.
call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's true too, because they also sometimes inject hormones, and
That's
they're building up
true.
their body so that they can look a particular way.
Yeah.
Folks, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you work out? You look like
Thank
pretty
you.
robust
I haven't
there.
worked out since. I haven't worked out in like 3 or 4 years, like 2 years.
okay.
actually.
Are you one of those guys that you don't have to work out
I-
and you just get muscular?
I think even before transition, I always had like the broad shoulders.
Okay.
You know, that was like the one thing I had going for me. And now, yeah, I've been needing to go back to the gym too. I think a lot of people are going back to the gym, like wanting to go back to the
Yeah.
gym, but like.
That's true. That's
It's
the whole scam of those subscriptions to the gyms. You just keep
Yeah.
paying, but you're not going to show up. You know.
Right now I'm watching like what I eat because I want, given I have this, like I've accepted that I'm short, right?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, and people don't earn their height. It just happens, right? You get what you get.
What is your ethnic background, by the way?
I'm Mexican American.
Okay, so your peers are also often a lot shorter.
Yeah, and average height for a Hispanic female, right? It's not strange to be this short.
Yeah.
You know.
And also a lot of Hispanic men
Yeah.
are also shorter.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But it is a mark against me in this society, right? Because in North, it's Eurocentric, and
Yeah.
you will get treated differently if you're short. I've been made fun of by other men. Like,
Oh yeah.
but they don't even know me.
Oh yeah.
And so that's a new struggle I have.
Or they think that you're like have a Napoleon complex if you
Yes.
get mad
Exactly,
ever. But a big man
yes.
could get mad, right?
Yes, I'm always so careful how I because I don't want to be called Napoleon. I don't want to
Right.
be.
But I mean, also too. I mean, he was one of the most successful military leaders in European history. So
Yeah. That's
okay.
true. That's my rebuttal next time. But I'm always being careful not to look like the short, angry guy. I hate,
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard that so many times.
I know. I feel like I've adopted more of like a jolly, just like really lighthearted
Oh, yeah.
demeanor to kind of combat like that kind of thing because
I can't imagine you mad.
Yeah, same. Well,
I can imagine us mad. Like we both have the red cheeks and
yeah.
But you, I
my
can't
husband has
imagine.
seen me.
Okay, all right.
He knows what it's like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I can't imagine you, but that's because we've only seen one side. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Everyone's got layers.
We just
like-
all met. So
Yeah, we're all onions.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine me mad? You
I
can't?
can.
Oh, can you imagine him mad?
I'm trying, but in this setting it's difficult, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
believe me, I do get mad. When you do political activism,
Yeah.
your heart is here, and if it becomes dashed, if politicians are doing things that are bad, like, for instance, wanting to drill in the Willow Project, which is terrible, which is
What is
on
that?
the North Slope. It's like where the caribou go to have their babies, and they want to put like a big oil well there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really bad. Really bad. Okay, so we took a little break again. These interviews are long, and sometimes it's just nice to take a break. So I was wondering, I asked you if this was okay, if you could maybe describe any of the characteristics of being like a person of color in probably a community that's dominantly white.
Yeah. I mean, I can talk. This is, to be honest, it can be its own interview.
Yeah,
This topic
exactly.
is so complex. Let's see. I'll talk about something that happened recently.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm part of a certain political caucus, right, in Houston. I guess I guess I won't name it, but it serves to be nonpartisan caucus that's supposed to be supporting LGBTQIA rights,
Okay.
political rights, right? So the people who make up the board and all the leaders in this caucus, like we had a meeting one day, and it was a retreat because it's a new set of board members.
Okay.
Right, and I'm one of the board members.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so
How did you get that position, by the way?
to be honest, it did feel kind of like a token thing, like a trans token, and a person of color. And if you're both, you're like yes, this is gonna make us look good and very inclusive,
Right.
So me and this other me and someone else who's a black trans woman, we were and so there's nothing wrong with that. Like we use our position for good,
Right.
but for example, whenever we were at this retreat, which was meant for everybody to get to know each other and to connect more and plan what we're going to do as a board together, like what goals we have, and things like that. Whenever the few people of color were talking about how they've been talked over, or how there's microaggressions, all of the white people were getting up from this table.
That was coming up, like microaggressions.
Like because it's like a thing that happens a lot in that because it's just it's a passive thing now because it happens a lot.
Okay.
Because you're working with older white people who are cisgender and gay, right? Cisgender white gay men. You never know with them, and they're always speaking from their perspective,
And I'm imagining if they're on a board, they're probably wealthy.
Wealthy. Yeah, exactly. And they just, whether on purpose or not, they're always using microaggressions, against people of color. And we tried to talk about it, and when we were talking about it at the board, because everybody was there, it was a great time to, but like all the white people they kept getting up while we were talking. We were talking to them, but the only people who stayed sitting the whole time talking about it were the people of color.
Wow.
Right.
So they were fidgeting and not trying to focus on you.
Yeah, somebody one of them was looking up. The one who did the most microaggressions was looking up, looking away, and got up multiple times to get the food.
Oh my god.
Or it's just, and then I guess they thought we didn't notice, or they thought we wouldn't catch on, but we all noticed.
Yeah.
And it's
that's pretty obvious if they're sitting back and their eyes are up.
Yeah, but that's the latest example. But yeah, there's always these nuances that the rest of the community might not understand, and it's more about not being accepted for my whole self in the trans community or my Latinx community. Neither of them are understanding me as a whole.
Do you feel like you have to, people call this code switching?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to speak a different way when you're in different spaces or be a different way?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you take me into a traditional Mexican household, it's not going to work out if I talk about trans things, even anything queer, anything, and so there's I'm in the trans LGBTQ spaces that are still mainly white despite this melting pot of a city we have.
It's incredibly diverse here.
It is very diverse. Yeah, I think we're behind New York City. We're the second.
Right, and that's the port of entry for the United States.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's intersectionality. We know that. So we know what that it's we always show up for communities that don't show up for us in the same way. So, and that's the best way I can describe it.
So you feel like you're giving more than you're getting back, in a way?
Yeah, or there's always something that they won't ever quite understand. Not because I don't want to, but they just can't. So.
And it would be hard to talk to each person and just what a waste of time and energy. I mean, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And to put up with people's ignorance too.
I mean, I met up with we had a meeting, and I had a meeting with the I don't know, it's a very powerful government official. I don't want to say that.
Okay. Yeah, so, you don't have to name it.
Yeah, but Oh no, we don't know. We don't know where we are, right? Have we said what city we're in?
We're in Texas. We're in a big
Okay.
city. I don't know.
I had this meeting
Yeah.
with the mayor of our city,
Mm-hmm.
and every large city in this state has an equal rights ordinance except this one,
Okay.
right?
Which is
And-
so strange.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Because there's
Yeah.
so many queer and trans people here. I mean,
There are, but the reason why it didn't pass was because the conservatives were like, men and women's restrooms. Like, I got a letter in my mail saying, "Look what they're gonna do. Like,
Oh,
this is what they're
no.
gonna try to pass. Do you want
Okay.
a man in the restroom with your daughter?"
Okay.
Like, I got an actual pamphlet to my
Wow.
address with that as
Gross.
a trans person.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, but
Wow.
that's the reason why I didn't pass because they scared everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and trans people bore the brunt of that. You know, and we're trying to do it again. You know, another equal rights ordinance proposal that has trans voices in it. You know, they wanted us to help,
Okay.
like, make it.
Finally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
then,
weird.
yeah, but the whole time there was me and my friend who was the black trans woman. We were both there in the meeting, but we didn't get to talk until the very end.
Oh,
because
no.
you had these other older non-binary and trans people who kept giving a spin on it, like, okay, logistically they kept talking about the logistics and no soul, like trying to be academic. Well, academia comes from lived experience. You can't have it without
Right.
experience, and that's what people of color, that's what our communities have a lot. Like, we have that. It's meaningful.
So
But
what were they trying to say that was kind of disconnected from reality?
they were trying to put, like, they're just being, like, speaking with, like, legal terms, and they were trying to be, like, logistical, looking at numbers of what has worked in the past,
Okay.
you know, and trying to quantify what's best for us when you can't quantify our experiences. You have to hear it from us.
Yeah.
you know?
Well, that sounds like a very neoliberal response,
Yeah.
like looking at the benefit of most people. But most people don't need the help. It's usually the minority within a community that needs
Yeah.
the help, right?
Yeah, exactly. And
I mean, recently, what was it? A lot of some Democrats have been saying, "Oh, we need to not support trans rights because we need to get into office." You know, Hillary Clinton. You know, she's done that several times about gay and trans stuff. And then also,
I didn't vote for her.
yeah, I mean,
I
does she
voted for Bernie.
does she really
Me
does
too.
she really deserve people's votes? I don't know if do Democrats deserve votes if they say things like that. It's pragmatic, right?
yeah,
Yeah, but whenever somebody says pragmatism or pragmatic, that means they're cutting people off. The people who actually need the protection and the support. Yeah,
I couldn't have said it better. Yes, that's a good way to put it.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I just hear this a lot.
Yeah.
Hear this a lot. Yeah. So where are you at with that board? I mean, it sounds really like contentious, you know? It sounds subtle, which can be harmful, and then
Yeah.
also contentious in a bigger way.
Whenever the board gets together, we're always saying, oh, we're gonna do more for people of color, for the trans community.
Oh, those other people?
Yeah, that we all agree together, but that something's gonna happen different, but it never comes to fruition
Okay.
because they act like they're taking on something else. Like, oh, you know, this will take a back seat because I have to do some kind of policy. I don't know. I don't know what they do. They always have an excuse though. You know,
Right.
and
We have to get this passed 1st and we
Yeah.
can't cause too much trouble. Otherwise, this more bourgeois thing is not going to...
yeah. So it's always trans people of color who are doing the work for trans people of color
Right.
and
Right.
trans people all together. You know,
Right.
So
Right. And, you know, already impacted people working hard against the state, against oppression. You know, white people need to step up and, you know, do something about that. Not only will it affect white people, but it's just wrong. It's just wrong when you see people impacted to not jump in and try and help them. Yeah.
So as a white transgender man, myself, like, is there something I can do? What can I do to help, basically?
Yeah, if you have any, like, ideas.
So, for example, just like how there's a trans group, like trans masculine group for everybody, there's one for people of color too. And we accept everybody. Like, allies can come. They don't have to be a person of color.
Okay.
Or trans. You wouldn't be encroaching on our space because we're inviting you and you're not going to take the forefront, right? So, like, that would be a good place for, like, to show some, like, kinship with us.
Yeah.
Like, we have one every fourth Friday of the month. Like, maybe next time you can come. We do the exact same thing as the other one.
Yeah.
So, like, and
do you notice? Do you notice that there's a difference in the conversation?
There is, and there's a lot less attendance. It's very hard. For some reason, it's very, very hard to get trans people of color in one space together because of economic barriers, a lot of barriers, social everything. It's hard to get us. We're busy working. We're busy, families. We're tied up. We have a hard time getting places. We don't have car. I mean, it's like, it's all related somehow, and it's hard to get us to show up in one place. So our numbers are not good, and so. And it'd be nice to see other people coming and like just so that's one way, and we could talk about that later. But
like more specifics about your particular group. Yeah.
So that's one good way that I think.
How did that come about, by the way? Did somebody just feel like there was a need for that outside of the main group?
I'm part of an organization that is 501c3 nonprofit that was founded by a black trans woman, right? So it's black-led, female-led, and trans-led.
Great.
Yeah. So she asked me and another trans person, trans man of color, to make a program for trans masculine men of color.
Okay.
So we're a program.
So she was looking big. Great.
Yeah, and then now she's trying to open it. She's trying to make one for people who are non-binary. Right, so she's trying not to leave anybody behind.
Yeah.
Right, so it started out as an organization for trans women, black trans women.
Right.
And then she opened it up to trans women of color, and then now she's opening it up to trans men of color, and now she's trying to do for
See, that's how you do it right? Yeah. You see where there's a need, and you try and address it, right? Yeah.
But we've run into a snag because we have. I guess I can't disclose, how much, but we have a new program that's a wellness program. Basically, we can help copay or pay for copays for healthcare or mental health care or legal name changes. We have the money for that.
Great.
We can reimburse people.
Did y'all get outside grants or independent donors and stuff?
Both, but mainly grants.
Great.
No one and it's for trans people of color, but nobody's applying.
Oh, wow.
And we're trying to figure out why. There's a barrier between.
I have a friend who would definitely be interested.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, because his stop surgery was scheduled for last December, and he had to cancel it with 1 week left before.
Wow.
Because he couldn't afford how much it was going to be.
Really?
What they told him.
Yeah.
Well, surgeries are big, so I don't think we could cover all of it, but it would be
Even then, I know he's losing his job next week, so I'm sure even covering the cost of HRT would make a big difference for him.
Yeah, so there's a bigger conversation about because up and down, trans people of any ethnicity are going to be like, I need help. I'm paying for this, and this for healthcare. I need help. Everyone's always asking for. That's a big need for us.
Right. Even people who are very privileged, right now are having a lot of trouble.
Exactly.
So if they're having trouble, people who are poor, people of color, definitely having big trouble.
Exactly. Yeah. And so now that we have it and we're saying, hey, we have this, just come and apply, and let us reimburse you. It's an easy process.
Oh, great.
All they have to do is
Is there a link to it?
Yeah,
I could link it to this video.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's specific to this city, though. So but what is stopping them? Now that we have it, what is stopping them?
I don't know.
So we're trying to figure that out.
Maybe a survey of people would be in order. What would make you more comfortable, or do you need assistance with it? Have somebody with you, actually filling it out, or something.
Yeah, I guess so.
Who knows? I don't know. Or anonymously in some way. I don't know.
But
hard to strategize around that sort of thing.
yeah, I could add more, but I don't want to take a lot of time. But
No, I'm asking you.
yeah, that's true. Okay.
asking you.
Like because we have legal aid, right? So like in Texas, it costs money to change your name and gender
Yeah.
marker. You have to pay like $300. And we can.
There's a waiver.
Is that being
There is a
threatened at
waiver.
all, by the way, by the new laws? Or
I think always. The answer is
okay.
always.
Okay, all right. Because some states they're just like, nope, we're not going to do this.
Yeah, no, it's always. There's always something,
Yeah.
If they could have it their way, we wouldn't exist at all. So.
Right. So it's a high price here, and it takes a while.
Yeah, it takes a while, but this program that we have, it pays for the whole thing for them.
Oh,
Like, we
great.
have it, but
Great.
and a lot of people want name changes, a lot of them, but only one person has gone through all the way with it, and and is it the steps that it takes to do that? I don't know. Maybe it's more than just about the money.
And it's complicated.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
Yeah.
it's not an easy process.
Like we thought that having the money for them would make it go faster, would make them want to move faster, but they don't. And we're trying to figure out why. Like,
Yeah.
there's something that we're missing.
Yeah.
Same thing with the healthcare. We all go, for HRT. Ideally, we're getting it through a doctor.
Yeah.
We have to go. Why is nobody like, applying for us to pay for it for them? We have the money, so
Maybe you just need a couple of success stories, and then it will, ripple out as people talk about it. Like one-on-one through the grapevine.
we even have it in Spanish. So
Yeah.
it's
Nice.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not nobody who speaks Spanish, like none of the monolingual Spanish speakers have applied yet. What's funny though is that for the other programs we had one for the COVID outbreak, like rent, food, and bill assistance.
Okay.
We had that, and a lot of
Great.
people applied for that.
Great.
Same thing for the freeze we had. We had a freeze down here. Probably up in Alaskan standards, it's nothing. But here,
No, what you guys got was our weather, but you guys weren't prepared
Exactly,
for it because it's so hot here. So you guys are prepared for the heat, right?
And not only that, but the water pipes go through the ceilings here.
Right.
Yeah,
So if they burst, that's coming in.
Right. Yeah.
yeah, we weren't prepared, right? And so
No.
we were without power, without
And
water.
people died.
People died.
Yeah.
People died. Yeah.
What a shame for the people who call themselves leaders in this state. I mean,
Ted Cruz
seriously,
went to Mexico,
if people are dying.
Yeah.
and then he blamed it on his daughters. Yeah.
What? What is this?
Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz. Ugh.
He went to Mexico,
Okay.
and then he tried to backtrack and say, "No, I went because my daughters wanted to go."
Okay.
Yeah,
he
trying to play
just,
it off like, oh, he was going to go on vacation anyway or something.
Yeah. So, but
Okay.
that became like a meme because it's like funny,
Right.
But
I think I saw that.
yeah, like a postcard with Ted Cruz and it's like, wish you were here, like
And he's
from
pulling his
Mexico.
luggage or something.
Yeah. That's what it references.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And but again, people applied for that because we were giving grocery store gift cards
Yeah.
for that,
Yeah.
and a lot of people applied for that. What's the difference between those and this one?
I don't know.
It's
Just
very
trans-specific is what it is.
yeah
Yeah.
I guess it is, yeah. So we're still trying to uncover that,
Yeah.
and that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. That's hard. Wow.